Well, I'm here Sunday morning with a bit of breaking news regarding the EV tax credits. This morning, on an interview on Fox News, Joe Manchin did make it clear what his position on Build Back Better is.
Hey, Brett.
Senator, you're at the center of this negotiation with the president over his social spending and tax bill, the Build Back Better bill that is not coming up in the Senate before the new year, in part largely because of your reservations. Without you, the leadership doesn't have the votes it needs. So today, right now, what's the state of play?
Well, Brett, this is a mammoth piece of legislation, and I had my reservations from the beginning when I heard about it 5.5 months ago, and I've been working diligently every day and every minute of every day. I've been working on this, meeting with, whether it be the President Biden, whether it be Majority Leader Schumer and his staff, whether it would be with Nancy Pelosi, all of my colleagues, from all different spectrums of the political spectrum, if you will, from the right to the left. I've done everything humanly possible. And my concerns I had, and I still have these concerns. And where I'm at right now, the inflation that I was concerned about, it's not transitory, it's real. It's harming every West Virginian. It's making it almost difficult for them to continue to go to their jobs. The cost of gasoline, the cost of groceries, the cost of utility bills, all of these things are hitting in every aspect of their life. And you start looking, and then you have the debt that we're carrying at $29 trillion. You have also the geopolitical unrest that we have. You have the COVID variant, and that is wreaking havoc again. People are concerned. I've been with my family. I know everyone's concerned. So when you have these things coming at you the way they are right now, I've always said this, Brett, if I can't go home and explain it to the people of West Virginia, I can't vote for it. And I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't. I've tried everything humanly possible. I can't get there.
You're done. This is a no.
This is a no on this legislation. I have tried everything I know to do.
So as you can see, the EV tax credits are not coming, at least for now. So what does this all mean? It basically means that Build Back Better is dead. So there's still the opportunity for Congress to come together to try to put something else together that could potentially happen. But in order to do so, they're going to basically have to start from scratch. So nothing's going to happen anytime soon, and this is all but dead at this point. We are going into 2022, which is midterm elections, which could have some very serious implications for how Congress is set up today. So based on how that goes, it's really going to set the tone for what we should expect moving forward. So obviously this is not great news for those of you who have been holding out for EV tax credits. Unfortunately, all this time Joe Manchin has not been clear on what he wanted, and ultimately here we are, him saying he's not going to vote for the bill once and for all. Now it is good that he's finally saying that, but it could have been helpful for a lot of people if he would have just said that up front. It's pretty clear at this point that he had no intention of voting for this based on the concerns that he cited in the interview. Now it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, the bill is dead. Now as far as EV tax credits goes, that's only bad news for those of you who are in the market for a GM or a Tesla. As you know, there are existing tax credits available for EVs. And right now, GM and Tesla are the only two manufacturers who have phased out of that completely. Essentially, there's up to $7,500 available until a manufacturer produces and sells 200,000 cars. So GM and Tesla have both done this sometime in the past. Essentially how this works is after a manufacturer sells 200,000 vehicles, 2 quarters later, they then get that credit cut in half. Then 2 quarters later, it's again cut in half. Then 2 quarters later, it goes to 0. So there's up to 18 months of a phase out depending on when the manufacturer hits 200,000 vehicles. So if they did it in January as an example, they would get 18 months. However, if they achieved that in March, they would only get 16 months of a phase out. So that's how this is all going to work out. So if you're in the market for anything but a Tesla or a GM, you still have tax credits available. Now here's the thing, in Build Back Better, one of the things that they focused on was making these a refundable credit. The existing tax credits available are not refundable. That means it's up to $7,500, and that is based on both the car and the battery size and your income / your tax liability. So you have to have at least $7,500 in tax liability to be able to claim that full $7,500, assuming you purchased a car that qualified for the full $7,500. If you have less than that, you will receive less credit. So if you only have $2,000 in tax liability and you purchased a car that was eligible for the full $7,500, you would only get $2,000 back. And this again, of course, is done at the time of filing your taxes. So if you bought the car in 2021, you won't get it until you file your taxes in 2022. So essentially how it works right now, if you buy a pure battery powered car, you would qualify for up to the full $7,500. So it's only your tax liability that's going to be an issue to not get that full $7,500. Now, when we go over to plug-in hybrids, that's where things start getting a little bit different. It all depends on the size of the battery. So the car at first must have at least a 4 kilowatt hour battery pack, and you'll get $2,000. If it has a 5 kilowatt hour battery pack, you'll get an additional $417. And then you'll get an extra $417 for every kilowatt hour the battery pack is above that, up to $7,500 total. So for a plug-in hybrid, if you want to max out those credits, you need to find one that's at least 16 kilowatt hours or larger to get that full $7,500 based on your tax liability. So with those caps in place with the existing law, essentially GM and Tesla are done. However, the next three that are going to hit sometime very soon are Ford, Toyota, and Nissan. Although I don't have the most up-to-date numbers, those three are the closest to hitting the next level. And then past them, it's significantly less cars that have been sold to date. So those are the next three that are on the chopping block. And based on the popularity of the Ford Mach-E, I would presume that Ford has a very good chance of potentially being the next one, although Toyota has certainly been selling a lot of plug-in hybrids as well. So those three manufacturers are the ones that you need to be most concerned about. If you're considering buying one of those three manufacturers, plug-in hybrids or battery electric cars, and you want to take advantage of the tax credits that are available now, you need to think about getting one of those cars sooner than later before the tax credits run out. Now, once they hit 200,000, of course, they have that phase out period. So they'll have up to 6 months on the front end of the full credit after they hit that 200,000. Then that'll be cut in half for the next 6 months. And then it'll be cut in half again for those following 6 months. So as it sits right now, this may be the last update we have on tax credits. I wanted to get this out to you here Sunday morning as soon as we found out about this news. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram @BeardedTesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.